I always do that.
Okay. What is it that
I'm
you
a
do?
night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire.
Stay hydrated.
I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every
Yes,
time
sir.
that I go up past midnight, I swear I get
I am not a night rider.
swear I get
As a matter of fact, when this podcast comes out, it'll be 2 days before the day I stopped being a night rider. It's funny. I like to use this song as my intro, as a matter of fact, because it is just, this song was me glorifying a lifestyle that, I mean, it is dangerous. Dangerous, reckless, stupid, whatever label you want to put on it. It just was not the life that I should have been living. However, there was an image behind it. I thought it was cool. It was something that was glorified in media and TV and music that I listened to, all of that. And it's just, man, it's foolish. But I use this song as my intro because I wrote this song in a time where I thought that was my life, and here I am coming out of the gates on a weekly basis now for 16 weeks, giving motivation, because it was from that lifestyle that this life was born. I was hatched out of the darkness into this light that I've become. I was dubbed a silent force by one of my favorite teachers when I was in high school, and now I'm using my voice as the force because I just have so much to say. and sometimes I don't really know how to put the words together, and if you're a weekly listener of this podcast, you understand that completely, but that's the truth, and it's okay. I'm fine with that, but I've found a way to use my voice for good. I made music from 12 years old all the way, up until I still write to this day. I just don't really put anything out. It's more of a journal for me. It's more of an artistic outlet. It's more of a therapy session when I sit down and write. But my voice has always been something that I've been called to use, and ever since I found my purpose in life, I've found different ways to do that. And the first way I did that was the Road to the Race series, where I did a vlog every day after my runs, before my runs, leading up to the Hartford Half Marathon, my first ever half marathon that I ran in, and it was inspirational to people. And when I found out that I was here to inspire, that's just all I've been trying to do. And here I am now on this podcast, Bookmarks with Bump. I'd like to welcome all of you bookworms to the show. This is just my evolution of what my purpose is. I bring you a interesting, motivational, silly take on anything that I find interesting on Twitter. And today, one of these things happens to be a picture that says everything comes to you at the right time. And there are 2 slides of a man standing in front of a cliff where there's a clock in the background, and the first time on the clock is it appears to be like 10:03 on that clock. And then apparently the right time is 9:15, because that's when the hands go flat and he can walk across the bridge. So if you're feeling like you're not in the right place in the right moment, just wait until 9:15 and walk across the bridge. Nonetheless, welcome to Bookmarks with Bump. This is our 16th episode. Today, a lot of things are going on. There's a lot of news about Diddy the Diddler. He is facing 25 life sentences, which is interesting because does that mean that when he passes away, will he be locked up in prison, in jail, or in heaven? Or is he even going to heaven? I'm not sure. I'm sure that all is forgiven, but unless if he's not a believer in Christ, then anyway, 25 life sentences consecutive. And then the other king of New York, Mayor Eric Adams, is under fire right now, and I guess he was arrested today for allegedly taking $10 million in public funds out of New York's trust. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm wondering, what is what's up with that? Well, who did he betray? Because I'm pretty sure everybody does that on that level of politics, but nonetheless, he pissed the wrong person off, and he's getting hauled off to jail. Uh, Now New York is left without a king. Is this the return of 50 Cent? Is there a place for Tekashi 6ix9ine to come back? Does the city now belong to Jalen Brunson? I have all of these questions about New York City, and they really don't matter because that's not a place that I plan on going anytime soon. Honestly, I prefer Boston, but anyhow, those are things that just don't really matter much. Um, they don't they don't matter much to me. However, they might matter in the zeitgeist. So I would be remiss if I didn't bring them up. What's going on for me today? It is a beautiful Thursday evening. I say beautiful, even though it's raining. Our golf tournament got rained out and canceled. Not canceled, but postponed. Um, which is unfortunate because I'm in the pole position here, going up against a second place team, and it's all on the line here. This is a very anticipated match. If you remember, I missed the last match of the golf season of the regular season, which my partner and I won, but I missed the last match due to my finger laceration that required stitches, and here I am now, ripped up, ready to go, and I cannot. Um, and that's really unfortunate. I was looking very much forward to coming back, playing this match, winning the golf league, and retiring from golf for the rest of my life, or until I retire from my job. But nonetheless, I still have a chance at it next week. It was rescheduled to next week, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hopefully bringing home a trophy. That would be really cool if in the span of 1 month I could bring home a medal and a trophy, and then move on to November for the 10K I'm training for, and hopefully bring home a medal from that race too. That would be, think about that, back to back month, bringing home a prize. Life is, it's not all about prizes, right? But it's about achievements in some sorts. What do we have to hang our hat on? And if you have nothing, you might be down on yourself. You got to pick your chin up and look at the things that you've done in your life. And this is a big period of time where I do that. This week coming up it's monumental for me. 6 years ago, I was really, I wasn't the man that I've become today. That's for sure. And over that 6 years, I've cleaned my act up a lot. I've been sober. I've, stayed out of trouble. I've, rested my head on my own bed for that period of time. And it's been quite the journey to get to where I am today as a person who's ultimately happy with myself and filled with so much joy and filled with so much love. Um, I'm taking in everything that God is giving me over these last couple weeks, and I'm really counting my blessings and holding closely to the things that I'm very grateful for. I've learned so much over this last summer. It's crazy. It really is. When I sit back and think about everything that I've learned and the person that I've become, like these things that I've done, these tweaks that I've made in my personality or in my drive or my ambition, my ethic, all of them are coming to fruition with different situations that arise. And it's hard to not give myself a pat on the back sometimes. And sometimes it's all we need to be able to do. It's nice to hear encouragement from other people. It really is. But until you hear it from yourself, you don't really ever believe it. And to just feel the love that I do for the person that I've become is a special thing. And like I said, God has brought me so many, they seem like life-changing revelations lately. And it's tested my character. And, my life as a whole, I was picked at as motivation because of a physical transformation, but it's not. It's my character as well, and I'm realizing that I'm a good person. And that's crazy to say, right? Like, you have this light bulb go off and you're like, "Oh, I'm a good person," and you think that that's kind of a crazy thing to pat yourself on the back about, but when you lived the life that I did leading up until now, you'd understand, you know? I was a dirtbag. I really was, things that I won't go on the record talking about because they're just I don't wanna glorify anything that I deem, destructive now, but I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of just to get by, and I'm proud of myself today because I'm a good person, and last week we talked about how impact is the most impressive aspect of a personal relationship, and, what I'm learning now is more about, you know, what it means to love something. You know, we have Thursday night football on tonight, and it's the Cowboys and the Giants, and an NFC East matchup that maybe not a lot of people are anticipating because it's the Cowboys and the Giants. I mean, we watch the Cowboys every single week. They usually get America's game of the week, and the Giants are, they're local here, so they usually get broadcasted and they're just not really that great of a team. However, I will sit down and I will watch that game because I love football that much. And somebody might ask you, why do you love this? Why do you love that? What do you get out of it? And what I'm learning about love is that you don't have to expect anything out of the things you love or the people that you love in order to feel the joy of what love is. You just can kind of look inwardly and be happy about the fact that you can love something. That is a very powerful emotion. That is a very powerful feeling, the feeling of love. It is intoxicating in a way, just take it from me, a former drug addict and alcoholic, to sit down and tell you that love is the most intoxicating feeling that I've ever felt in my life. You better be damn sure that I'm telling you the truth. It is. It can make you act in ways that are outside of your regular realm, but if you take a chance to be patient with everything, you realize that just the ability to love is a special thing. And it's always going to be able to make you happy if you're not expecting anything out of it. If you could just look at something and go, I love that so much, and feel that in your heart, that is that's something that does something for your energy and your aura, and it makes the world around you a little bit brighter. And that's really my challenge for you leading through this next week. Figure out what it is in your life that you love, that you don't expect anything from, and hold it tightly. And just think about it and think about how it makes you feel. It's about patience, it's about gratitude. To me, love is gratitude. The things that you're grateful for are things that you love. And I found this excerpt. This will be the first bookmark that I get into, and it was labeled as patient love. And this goes, if you want to know how much someone loves you, you should see how patient they are with you. Patience in human love can translate into, I love you for who you are, and even more for the person you have the potential to be. And for this reason, I want to stay by your side and help you reach the best version of yourself. What's beautiful about patient love is that it only gets stronger as time goes on. It's a beautiful correlation. It's like incense. The more it burns, the more fragrant it becomes. Patient love means loving the seed even before it becomes the tree. It is only right that the patient gardener is given the fruits of the tree. They deserve the very best of it. They constantly watered and took care of it even when the seed was out of sight in the ground. Perhaps even the seed doubted itself, but the patient gardener assured it by taking care of it, even when it was surrounded by dirt and felt all alone. That is that's huge. And that's patience as a whole, Be patient with people, be kind to people, show love to people, show love to yourself. The more love that you give out into the world, I honestly believe the more love you get back from it, the more gratitude you put out in the world, the more you get back from it. Uh, Much like your calorie intake and output, it's the same thing. You get out of life what you put into it. And if you're miserable and you're dragging your feet, how far are you going to go? This is what means the most. To to truly to truly love is to love and not want a thing. And if you're expecting everything, there's ways for if you're expecting things, honestly, expecting things out of life, you set yourself up for disappointment. There's no better way to avoid disappointment than to not expect a thing. Just be grateful that you're here. Uh, You could destroy yourself with expectations. And that segues into our next topic, 16 self-destructive ways or self-destructive habits to stop. Number 1, addicted to scrolling. Yeah. I mean, so now that could be counterintuitive for me because that's exactly how I find the topics of this podcast. However, if all you're doing is sitting down on your phone, scroll, 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 the time passes by, you didn't get anything done in that day, how are you going to feel about yourself? You destroyed a day, really. And so instead of scrolling through your phone, your apps, your social medias, why don't you just, I don't know, scroll through a book or read a scroll? Number 2, hitting snooze. Now, this is one that I could be guilty of from time to time, and I go, oh, I'm so tired. If you fall asleep for 5 more minutes, you're just going to be more tired. You know what time you have to get up in the morning to get the ball rolling and make sure you check all your boxes. Do it. When that alarm goes off, you go off. It's time for you to make the most out of your day. Number 3, checking your phone right after you wake up. And this is a huge one too. If you wake up, now it's easy, right? Because a lot of us have our alarm set to our phone, so it's the first thing we put in our hand. But what I've done over the last couple months is wake up and read out of my book. I have a book that my church gave me, and it's an everyday book. There's one excerpt from the Bible from every single day, and there's a little interpretation of what it's saying to you. My suggestion is if you don't want to wake up and brush your teeth right away, find a little book that you can read a couple pages of. Get your brain fired up before you get your body fired up. I have this little ball that I just found that my cat stole. I don't know, months ago, my cat stole this thing. And I like to sit down on the couch right after I wake up, roll out my feet. It's like a foam roller for your feet. I like to roll out my feet and read the page of the day. And that's usually a great way to get my day started. Number 4, hanging out with bad influences. And this is another one that I can attest to a lot. I mean, back in the day when I was ripping and tearing, that's all I had around me were bad influences, except I was probably the worst influence of all of them. But we all enabled each other, right? So if you're hanging out with people who don't have your best intentions in mind, which you might not ever know because they could be lying straight to your face. However, you see a lot from their actions. Like if you're hanging out with people that don't work out, if you're hanging out with people who eat like crap, if you're hanging out with people who don't work, period, just really, really pay attention to the people that you're around because you are a product of your environment. As much as we have free will, we are ultimately pulled in different directions by the people that we associate with. Number 5, lying to yourself. Be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. And just don't. Just it goes a lot into the people that you hang out with. You pay attention to what you see, and that's what you're gonna get out of life. You could tell yourself everything's fine when everything's crumbling around you, and the evidence around you says that it's crumbling around you. But if you're convincing yourself you're in a good place, you're not really going to progress forward. The best way to progress forward is to be truthful and be honest with yourself. And that's why I am the way I am as a person. I'm so open and honest and vulnerable in ways that can be overwhelming or deterring to some people. But that's just me keeping me in check. And I think that's the best way for a lot of other people to keep themselves in check as well. It's being in check is not a bad place to be. Number 6, judging people, which is so easy to do. But yes, it's a self-destructive habit because it puts you up on a pedestal or it knocks you down a peg. Comparison is the theft of joy. So, don't compare yourself to anything. Eating sugar. That's, yeah, self-explanatory. 8 is being late. being late is not a great habit to form because you could lose things like that. You could lose your job, you could lose your friends, you could lose your tea time, you name it. If you're late for something, when being prompt is a quality that's rewarded, yeah, yeah, it's a self-destructive habit. Number 9, assuming the worst. And number 10, now this one really strikes out at me because this is what this podcast is, but not really. Because if you're seeking this out, then you're obviously looking for some advice or some sort of direction. So giving unsolicited advice is a self-destructive habit. As much as you'd like to convince yourself it's not, as much as you like to think that you're just trying to help the people around you or put them in a better position, the only real the best time to give advice is when you're being asked for it. And if you don't know if you're being asked for it, just don't give it. Be an ear. Um, I'm learning in my life right now to just be a better ear than a mouth. And my pastor at church said something that stuck out to me not too long ago, where he said that we have to as a good friend, you have to realize when to talk, when to listen, and when to just give a hug. Number 11, being a yes person. Somebody who just says yes to everybody's ideas. You have to, eh, another, let's go back to Pastor Andrew. Another thing that he said is about kindness. Being nice is just telling people what they want to hear, right? But being kind is telling people what they need to hear. And that's what it means to not be a yes person. Number 12, saying no to everything. If you just turn everything down, it's the opposite of being a yes person, but you're also not opening yourself up for any new adventures. So, don't say yes all the time, and don't say no all the time. That's 11 and 12. Number 13, making excuses. Anybody can make excuses, right? Tough people make shit happen. Number 14, watching TV. Now, there's a time for everything, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. As of late, I've been reading more, but yeah, watching TV is it is a self-destructive habit. If that's all that you plan on doing, yeah, it's a self-destructive habit because it can wrap you up. I'm wrapped up into a show right now. I'm wrapped up into Dexter. I never watched it before. I'm watching it through for the first time. I'm on the last season now, and it's been something to occupy my time in between my run and my lift. After work every day, I go for my run. I come home, I make a meal, and that meal needs to digest before I go and lift. So I watch a couple episodes of Dexter. Now, when I get home from the gym, I probably turn it on a little bit too often than I should because I end up staying up later than I want to. However, it's a great show. Number 15, criticizing. This is pretty broad. But I think criticizing is actually beneficial. Uh, Constructive criticism instead of just general criticism is kind of what you want to look for here. And number 16, overthinking. And if you can't stop overthinking, get a therapist and talk to them. Because overthinking is something that I struggle with and work through when I sit down and have my sessions. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to get over, right? I always say I wish I was one of those people who didn't have an inner monologue because it feels like mine is constantly going, constantly reminding me of this or that or things that ultimately I don't need to know about. So, yeah, overthinking is a destructive habit, but a lot of these habits, a lot of these things that you do, you kind of have to moderate. You're never going to completely get away from all of your bad habits, but if you moderate them and allow yourself to check the boxes off day by day of what you need to do, then do it. It is important to just do it, just like Nike says. And that really is the key to it, is just getting out and doing it. And I have 7 keys to the stomach here, speaking of keys. So we'll go through those. These have a lot to do with gut health. All disease begins in the gut. That was Hippocrates who said that. Everything about your life will finally click if you focus on digestion. Here are 7 keys to identifying the symptoms and fixing your digestive issues. First, we will identify the seemingly unrelated symptoms that are caused by poor digestion. Then we will get into how to fix them. Symptom number 1 is anxiety. And this is huge, very often rooted in digestive distress. It can be effectively treated with gut-centric approach. And then there's a video on Gary Brecka talking through that. Gary Brecka is the man who changed Dana White's life. Dana White gives this guy a lot of credit. So Gary Brecka is worth checking out. He's where I found out about the chemical cyanocobalamin, which is in a lot of energy drinks, zero sugar energy drinks that have a B vitamin complex in them. Cyanocobalamin is for lack of better words, it's a derivative of human shit. They find cyanide in the foam that's in sewage treatment plants, and they put this in drinks because you can make a vitamin B complex out of it. How? I have no idea, but look for methylcobalamin instead of cyanocobalamin. Number 2, allergies and autoimmune system. 70% of the immune system resides in the gut, including histamine-secreting mast cells. When the gut environment is compromised, leading to intestinal permeability and inflammation, bad things happen. Number 3 is depression. Mood issues are among the most common signs of poor gut health. Individuals with unexplained major depressive disorder show elevated levels of every single marker of dysbiosis and intestinal inflammation measured. Skin issues start in the gut. They are incredibly common in those with gut issues, as the gut and the skin are inextricably linked. And what I can say about this is absolutely true, because I notice times where if I'm eating sugary food more often than I usually do or more often than I'm supposed to, I notice that I kind of break out with acne in different places. And typically it's on my stomach. I'm very blessed to not have acne on my face. Knock on wood, just so I don't pop up with a zit anytime soon. But yeah, I've really never had acne on my face until I'm scarfing down ice cream and all of that good stuff that is so tasty. Number 5 is brain fog. The classic vague lack of mental clarity and focus can be triggered by bacterial overgrowth in the gut, particularly an overproduction of the D-lactic acid from bacteria, a neurotoxin that can cause these symptoms. 6 is chronic fatigue, consistently and strongly linked to elevated levels of intestinal permeability, gut bacterial toxicity, and resulting inflammation. Number 7 is poor sleep. No amount of magnesium or blue light blocking will rescue your sleep from a gut issue. Bacterial overgrowth or dysbiosis can irritate the intestinal lining, trigger inflammation, and overstimulate the nervous system, all of which can lead to poor sleep. So, how many of these problems do you have? Well, I've got news for you. It's probably your gut. Fixing your digestive issues. Number 1 starts with bacteria, probably the most crucial factor to address. Gut bacteria issues, this is what dysbiosis is, will directly exacerbate everything else on this list. Dysbiosis will drive bloating, poor motility, inflammation, diarrhea, food intolerance, and gas, plus more. 2 key, easy, and free ways to check for dysbiosis is a coated or white tongue in the morning, especially at the back, and constantly foamy urine. The 3 primary levers to pull to fix dysbiosis are diet, antimicrobials, and probiotics. Diet, starting with a low residue diet that limits bacterial fermentation, foods like whole grain breads, cereals, nuts, seeds, raw or dried fruits and vegetables. Leave out those bloody processed foods, seed oils, colors, gums, dyes, etc. This is funny. It has a picture. A lot of these threads, and this is why I tell you, go through the description, click the links, read through the threads yourself, because you're going to find informational videos, you're going to find great diagrams, you're going to find excerpts of articles. I'm not going to go through all that. I'm not going to play all the videos at this point right now. Until I upgrade some equipment and add a video element to this podcast, I will just tell you, please, not only subscribe, leave a comment, please go through the description, find these threads, in the description and read through them yourself on X or Twitter. It has a picture, it has steaks on one slide and it says Mother Nature, and then it has a Beyond Burger and it says Mother Effer. Adding more animal protein, fats, all cuts of beef, lamb, bison, etc., along with eggs, seafood, butter, and other dairy products. They're easily, plus you want to add easily digestible carbs like fruit juices, cane sugar, and honey, and fermented foods. Fermented food. Ha! Can I speak? This is a podcast, right? I should be able to talk. Fermented foods have great levels of probiotics in them, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is how to fix the gut biome. There's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. And if you're feeling any of these symptoms, more often than not, you have bad bacteria floating around in your stomach. You need the good bacteria. That is your gut flora that will help you digest foods, that will help you feel better. Start eating some probiotic yogurt, have some kimchi, have some kombucha. Kombucha drinks they're really bitter, they really are, but they're great for you. Antimicrobials. I hope you all enjoy me not being able to speak clearly as much as I do sometimes. Antimicrobials, low-dose, safe antibiotics can be an absolute lifesaver. 100 to 200 milligrams of penicillin, 3 to 4 times a day for 1 to 3 weeks while cleaning up your diet. 25 milligrams of doxycycline or minoxidil twice a day for 1 to 3 days. Natural. Now this is what I'm talking about. Natural antimicrobials are oregano oil, garlic and onion, mastic gum, palo de arco, rosemary, thyme, activated charcoal, wormwood. Ooh, throwback to Dexter. Wormwood, camphor, carrot, and berberine. I, for one, eat a lot of garlic, turmeric. Those are 2 things that I'm always using in recipes. And that's what it's for. That's what it's there for. It's there to help clean up the gut. Probiotics. Starting with these, if the problem is severe, might not be a good idea, but they become more important as you get closer to normal. Probiotics have antimicrobial, anti-biofilm effects. They are essential for gut immunity. They enhance gut motility, can metabolize food components. In general, multi-strain and long-duration use is the key to success. 2. Gut motility. It's absolutely vital to keep things moving. Some tools to enhance gut motility are coffee, vitamin C, cascara, and magnesium. Maintaining constant sleep and wake times, as gut motility is regulated by the circadian rhythm. Walking cannot be beaten. 3. Stress. It will destroy your digestion. Obviously, solving stress can be a tricky one, but we can certainly look to some of the fundamentals to help, like meditation, time out in nature, breath work, improving sleep, and sunlight. And this is why I never run on the treadmill, even in the winter. I enjoy those moments where I'm outside, especially when I'm running. The running is the moving meditation for me. In most cases, it's a one time a day where I'm not thinking about anything. And I'm also out in nature. I'm taking in the elements. I'm running through these trails and I'm feeling the trees that I'm running by. I'm feeling the ground that's underneath me. I'm taking the time to enjoy this planet that I'm living on. And it helps me just unwind, specifically when I'm done after a long day at work. This is just a great habit. This is the greatest habit that I've formed, honestly, to really just take those moments to be one with the world. Energy. If your metabolism is poor, good luck digesting anything. You need energy for stomach acid production, digestive enzyme secretion, gut motility, immune function, and maintaining a balanced good bacterial environment. Some keys to enhancing that is a thyroid optimization and supplementation, B vitamins, Um, Apparently, this is telling you to sun your genitals. Um, Maybe I'll try that next summer. Better sleep, working out, and limiting polyunsaturated fats. Number 5 is inflammation. Inflammation directly drives many of these symptoms. The breakdown of the intestinal barrier or leaky gut is a common underlying factor in the digestive issues that exacerbates inflammation. Everything mentioned above is crucial for managing inflammation and maintaining the intestinal barrier. But some foods that specifically target this inflammation include gelatinous meats and bone broth, raw milk, orange juice, and vitamin C. Good supplements that lower inflammation are lactoferrin, zinc carnosine, BPC 157, and glutamine. Glutamine is another great little supplement for working out too. Um, and if we're talking working out, as we usually are, I have 8 more tips for you in the gym, and I'll leave you on this. Um, Number 1 is to stop drinking alcohol. And that's pretty much self-explanatory, right? Alcohol is a poison. It is a toxin, and it flows through your blood long after you stop drinking. So, if you're drinking on a constant basis, you're kind of destroying your circadian rhythm. You're practicing a poor lack of judgment. You're taking away gains in the gym, and ultimately you're adding calories in most cases. If you're a man and you're drinking beer or even wine or whatever it is that you're drinking, you're adding extra calories that you don't really need. Number 2, fasted cardio and lifting weights will turn your body into a fat burning machine. Um, I intermittent fast throughout every day, except for when it comes to the weekends. Saturday is a little bit different. I get to get out of work early and go for my run. On most days, I'm not eating from 8 p.m. to 12 noon. And that is a great little period of time for me to move around and do what I need to do throughout the day, specifically while I'm working, which is kind of labor intensive work. And I get to just burn fat throughout that whole period of time. Number 3, get 50 grams protein minimum in your first meal. Now, this may seem extreme. This may seem like a lot. And there are some studies that say anything over 25 grams of protein just automatically go to your glycogen reserve. And if that's the case, good, because go ahead and use it. Your glycogen reserves get pulled out when you're exercising. So if you have that glycogen in your muscles, it's not a bad thing. But when you have too much glycogen, it turns to sugar, and that gets stored as fat. So, it's all about timing, honestly. When it comes to what you eat and how much you eat, it all matters when. Number 4, 24-hour fast each week. Now, this isn't anything that I've practiced really, and this could probably be a little bit harder for me. Because of the level of activity that I do, being an endurance runner. However, screw it, why not give it a shot? Number 5, spend a lot of time sitting, do bar hangs after each workout to decompress your spine. Now, I don't necessarily I spend a lot of time sitting, but I do spend a lot of time running, and that can have the same effect with that high impact movement with your spine kind of shrinking down. If you're sitting at a desk typing all day, you could have poor posture. So, if you're able to find some time in between sets or at the end of your workout or at the beginning of your workout, I do this probably three different times a day, where I just find a bar and I hang from it like a monkey. Number 6, 90% of your meals should be chicken, steak, beef, salmon, shrimp, Greek yogurt, eggs, fruit, rice, veggies, and potatoes. Just very simple carbs that aren't too complex to break down, and very, very, very strict protein. This is lean protein when we're talking salmon, shrimp, chicken. Steak and beef have a little bit more fat in it, which is not a bad thing at all. Fat is good. It's helpful for the way your brain functions. It's helpful for the way that your lipids flow through your bloodstream, and the lipids ultimately carry the nutrients, the minerals, the everything inside of you to where it's supposed to be. So don't ever shy away from red meat. I know We've talked about this a million times, but it's sugar. Sugar is the issue. Sugar causes the heart disease. Sugar causes the cancer. It's not the meat, unless if it's like from, a bad place. Number 7, lift legs 2 times a week per minimum. Your body's biggest muscles are in your lower body. And this is true. And it's not just your biggest muscles. It's not just your biggest muscles. I'm sorry. I just looked at this here and I thought this was 8 tips in the gym, and it's just going on and on and on. And what I found is that it's 8 years worth of advice. So we're going to fly through this here because I just looked at number 8 and saw the rest of the thread. So lifting legs 2 times a week, and that's something that I've clung to now, not just because I use my legs so much, but because it's the biggest muscle group in your body. This is more concentrated and more there's more concentration of muscles in your legs than anywhere else, including your back. Some people would think the series of back muscles are the biggest set in your body, but it's not. It's your legs. You have uh, th- three different you have 3 different sections of the anterior quadricep. You have the inner and outer thigh muscles. You have the hamstring cords, 2 different cords on the hamstrings. You have 2 different sets of calves, and you also have your set of glutes. The amount of muscles that make up your legs, you can never work them out enough. Number 8, use these snacks to hit your protein goals. Ready protein water, 20 grams. Oikos Pro Greek yogurt, 20 grams. A Fairlife protein shake, 30 grams. Safe Catch canned tuna, 40 grams. Number 9, eat your protein first in each meal. Number 10, get sunlight daily to boost testosterone production. Number 11, don't commit to this for just a few months. Health is a lifetime commitment. And it's the biggest thing that I've said. People have pointed at me and said that I'm in this health phase of my life. No, this is the lifestyle that I've adopted, that I've become synonymous with. Number 12, every meal you eat should be heavy in protein. And this is true. Like the biggest thing for us to maintain muscle mass on our bodies is to eat at least a gram of protein per pound of body that we have. So if you step on the scale and you weigh 185 pounds, how much protein should you be eating? 185 grams. Number 13, get an under the desk treadmill to hit them 10K steps per day effortlessly. Number 14, never sacrifice form for heavier weight. This is huge too. This is huge for the men because they will go in there and ego lift. They will see what the person in the next rack is doing and say, oh, I could do that. And yeah, you might be able to move your body up and down with that weight, but are you engaging the muscle? Are you practicing good form? Are you hitting your depth? Are your knees bending inwardly or outwardly? These are all the things that we need to focus on. Number 15, the easiest way to get addicted to the gym is by doing workouts you genuinely enjoy for the first couple of weeks. Once you've developed the habit of going, then try doing new exercises. Yes, get going before you get running. You have to crawl before you walk. Number 16, fasting and black coffee in the morning is great for fat loss. You'll eat less and suppress your appetite. 17, eat a 500 caloric deficit 6 days per week, and at your maintenance level 1 day per week to avoid plateaus. And this is another thing. When you're dieting, you have to switch things up. It's good to be strict. It really is. But you have to have a day or a meal where you allow yourself whatever you want to. What you do by doing that is not boost your testosterone, but you boost your metabolism. You secrete a hormone that gets your metabolism to run in overdrive. And this is important. Number 18, a few sets of dumbbells and a bench are all you need to get jacked. And we're not really looking to get jacked. We're just looking to be healthy. And this is true. A bench, whether it's a bench or a rack, a barbell and some weights and some dumbbells, it's really all you need. You can improvise and make any exercise possible with these things. Number 19, eating healthy is just as easy as unhealthy eating. Buy a shit ton of healthy food and stock your kitchen with it. Number 20, you don't need to follow a strict diet. Eat whole foods and prioritize protein. Number 21, if you expect results instantly, you will fail. If you give yourself 12 months and just do the right things on a consistent basis, you'll change your entire life. Number 22, develop a sleep routine. Quality sleep will make your muscles grow and recover faster while burning fat quicker. Number 23, if your muscles hurt, let them recover. Don't force a workout. Listen to your body always. 24, morning workouts are proven to lead to healthier decisions throughout the day. This is something I've never really tried. I mean, I used to wake up and run when I got to work a little bit later than I do now, but I can see this being a direct correlation. Yeah, morning workouts, healthier day. 25, increase weight or reps each week to guarantee the muscle growth. 26, track your workouts. Don't play the guessing game. You could have a workout plan written out for you. That's cool. But are you making sure you're doing each rep in each set? I have notes and notes and notes of different workouts, different phases that I've gone through where I check off a box every time that I'm done with that week or that day. I record the weights that I've done that week and I move on from there. 27, force yourself to eat slower. It takes 20 minutes for your body to communicate to your brain that you're full. This is something I struggle with. I'm like a garbage disposal when it's time to eat. 28, you can't control where you burn fat. It's just genetic. So be patient and consistent. 29, utilize the 2.5-pound plates at the gym. They'll help you get stronger gradually. This is something that I do. I'm not afraid of that. They might be puny looking plates, but little by little, that'll grow to a 5 and a 10 and a 25, all the way up to 45 if you just keep working it. 30, you'll never regret going to the gym. And I can't say this enough. I've had so many workouts where I've had a day where I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to the gym today. And I've never left the gym like, I wish I didn't come today. 31, most produce is grown using pesticides, leading to a plethora of health issues. Buy organic to avoid this. 32, if you have a full belief that you can make this happen, you'll be unstoppable. Believe in yourself. Number 33, don't post gym pics for attention. That's not the reason you're doing it. That's why I don't post pictures of my body. I'm a good-looking man. I have muscles everywhere I'm supposed to have them. But if you go through my Instagram or if you go through my Facebook or my Twitter, I'm not showing off my abs. I'm not showing off my legs or my back or anything like that. I'm just trying to give motivation. And the best way to give motivation is through a message, not through something that could potentially make somebody jealous. That's not what we're here for. If you're really here for the right reasons. 34, if your diet leaves you starving, you're doing it wrong. Eat more protein. Protein is satiating. 35, never get fewer than 7 hours of sleep. This is just as important as skipping alcohol. Rest is important. Alcohol will take away your ability for your muscles to recover. It is a toxin. It makes your kidneys makes your kidneys and liver work in a way where it's metabolizing things differently, and that means you're not metabolizing protein the same way. With poor sleeping habits, you could end up with the same thing. 36, take 5 grams of creatine daily. 37, the only diet that'll ever work out for you is the diet that allows you to eat your favorite foods in moderation. And this also goes into the maintaining in the day, having a cheat meal once a week. This is important to give yourself a little reward for doing a good job. 38, 9 out of 10 times people fail in their weight loss journeys because they give up too soon. That's it. That's all it is. There is no instant gratification when it comes to hard work. And that is what your health is. Your health is hard work, especially in today's day and age. With the sick care system that we talked about last week, with the different things that they're doing to poison the food that they feed us, this is all very, very important. It takes hard work and it takes time. 39, there will never be a better day to start than today. I'll start next week. I'm going to do this next week. After next week, this is going to happen. And those next weeks can turn into the next week after that. If you're serious about it, do it now. At the end of the day, nothing in this list matters if you're not going to get started now. I'll start tomorrow, but will you? Getting in shape improves every aspect of your life. And there's no better time than now. And there's no better time than the time I spend with you. You know, I'm happy to put out this podcast. I'm happy if you learned anything from it. If you did learn anything from it, leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear how I was able to help you with my message here today. We talked about a lot of important things. We talked about growth, love, our bodies, our stomachs. Ultimately, it's all about health and living the best life that you possibly can. And remember, it's not going to come to you in a day. You know, you have to be patient. Love, patient love. If you want this love to last, be patient. Be patient and don't expect a thing unless if you're working for it. Expect the results when you're working hard and you're working consistently. Leave a comment down below. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, share to your profile. Leave a rating, please. I'm currently sitting at 5-star ratings on both Spotify and Apple, and it's great. It's great to see that. I love the feedback that I'm getting. If you have any suggestions, please leave an email at the bookmarkswbump@gmail.com or find me on Twitter at BumpyBetSlips and let me know what you're thinking of the podcast so far. I'd really love to interact with more of you and hear your thoughts. Thank you once again for tuning in, and as always, it's all love. God bless.
I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dumb and I rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.